Okay. Hello everybody, Mr. Basic here. This is VCV Rack, and I just got the Shapemaster Pro and by Mindmeld. They're the same ones who do this wonderful mixer and EQ system here that allows me to use VCV Rack as my main DAW in my computer, which is wonderful. But Shapemaster Pro is also wonderful, and I'm just going to show that off just in a way that just simply I just got started. I haven't done a lot with it yet in this patch, but there's just so much you can do. I'm just scratching the surface. What I'm doing today is using it as a drum machine. So I've got my kick, if you can see in the bottom left corner. I've got hi-hats, which I have on a MIDI controller. I can turn this knob to do it from quarter notes to eighth note timing, so that it can, just change the pace of the hi-hats at different times of the song. And then this is an open hat, and then I've got a clap, and these are all 808 sounds from AS Drums and Filters collection, which is a premium. Also a premium is the Magma Modular V, which I'm using for chords, and I'm using the palette, which is a clone of the Mutable Instruments Plats, which is my favorite module in real life that kind of builds my studio the way it is. I got two of those going on. One playing an ARP from ARP here, which is just using the chords to build an ARP automatically and sending it to a palette. And then the other palette is playing from the Allen, also synced to the same tempo, so it's going to add a little bit variation. And this is what that sounds like. I'm going to just do that before the drums here. By unsoloing. And so tracks 6 and 7 are that. 6 is the arpeggio that just keeps on going dut 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 dut. And the Allen goes on that same rhythm, but adds the randomness. So it's a bit consistent, and it's also a bit random. Right? That doesn't have anything to do with the Shapemaster so much, except that I'm also using the Shapemaster as LFOs. So the first 4 tracks of the Shapemaster I'm using as as a drum sequencer. Then I've got triangle LFOs. This is the phase changed, phase shifted opposite. And see, like this, you can change the phase by just shifting it. See the triangle shifting? And so then I've got the 7th track is an LFO with the phase shifted a little bit that way, but it's also a lot slower too, so it doesn't even matter, the shifting so much. And then another really interesting thing is you can, with Shapemaster, you can literally just draw waves for modulation. It's just a major modulation board. And what I didn't do for drums, I should say, for a drum sequencer, is that there's, with these extra modules, the SM triggers in particular, you can get end of cycle, so that and then program it to go basically song mode, and program a whole song's patterns of drums, and not just one all by itself looping, but have the whole song loop any way you want. Have it repeat patterns and do patterns in order and everything like that. Okay, and Jacob can tell you how to do that. I will put a link to his videos in the description. And because he's the tutorial guy. I'm just showing you what I did at first here, and it's just scratching the surface. But see, this last one is for my chords. This is an LFO for my chords, and what I've got mapped to a little MIDI controller here, so it's funner to do, is these three things. And here is the response. It's more of a response until it's just like, which actually flattens it out and makes it not hearable. So it's kind of like if I turn down the response, I can hear the whoop 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 as much as I want. And okay, so Shapemaster can go, if you get the Pro, you can use your own clock of some other type, which I'm using clocked in the top left corner of the screen there. That's my favorite clock, because I can put just a swing on that, and it'll swing the whole song, no matter how many whatevers. But globally, you know. And I found that to be better than putting the swing on each track on the Shapemaster for what I was doing. Okay, but anyway, what that means is you can bring in your own clock if you get the Pro version and plug it in there. And you can either be synced to the clock or not. And so as you can see, this 8th LFO that I have doing the chords here, and I'll solo it again so you can hear it better. So yeah, and so then I've got the warp, makes it go side to side like that. Okay, and then this is the amount, so you can just hear it more. And then if I take the response down, you can really hear it. That's kind of like the original position. Is that a better way to... Yeah, see, it's like... It's kind of lo-fi. But I don't have it clinked... I have all the drum tracks synced to the clock. And even the other LFOs. But this one I don't. And so it can go just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da and be truly random. Because it doesn't loop at the same pace as everything else. So, shall we try some things out here? Alright, so let's just jam. And that's my first foray into Shapemaster Pro. I'm really happy about it. Because it streamlines the process. I don't have to use any other LFOs from any other brand, which is really nice. And also, if I want to, I can use this as all my sequencers, because they have song mode and everything, which makes them kind of like the ultimate sequencers in a way. But it has its own quirks compared to other sequencers. I might still like the impromptu drum sequencer the best. If I play with this more, I might still just decide to go with that most of the time. But we'll see. It definitely has a lot of supreme advantages over everything else. And it's awesome. Just the Allen sequencing palette, and add the ARP now. I didn't do that right, or like I would. So I put it to 1/4, and see the LFO is going that a little bit slower. That's the hi-hat. And then I'll bring it in. Okay, so the hi-hat's like that. Then if I bring in the open hat, another 808 on another channel. knob here a little bit to make it the length of the LFO, or length of the sequence, go on eighth instead of quarter notes. See, it's such a small turn. Okay, I'm gonna go back to, let's do that again. Now. That's how it's supposed to work. Now, if I want my knob to work a little bit differently, I'll put an attenuator, sort of thing, a control attenuator, and then and then I'll map that to my controller. But I can do a little. Yeah, see, I can do little tiny turns. I just have to train. You just have to train yourself to do it. All right. Okay, so that's that. Really happy about it. And I'm gonna keep using Shapemaster Pro for sure. And I'll if I keep on using it for sequencers, definitely the end of cycle ones right here are gonna be the ones to start using. That's the thing I haven't done yet. And on this other side, let me zoom in for a sec. And that's another really good thing about this too, is since you can make shapes really easily. It's like you can zoom it in full screen. It's a really, really great tool in terms of, working in your workstation. So yeah, this other module here that I'm not using, the SMCV, it gives you all sorts of options for these knobs. I'll let Jacob tell you more. I'll link it in the description. But then, so basically, yeah, all these things. And also, yeah, this has got your swing and all that stuff. And then it even has see play and freeze, all that stuff. Okay. And then on this side, you have your other triggers, and this is different ones. And I haven't used that yet, but see, is the end of cycle, end of sequence length. Oh, I forgot about those because I haven't used them yet, so we'll see in the future. Fun. Shall we warp? Whoa. And then so then basically I'm doing this with my finger on a MIDI controller knob and I'm turning a knob, but with this extended module, the SMCV module on the left here, you can put amount of warp. You can control the amount of warp and put an LFO on it. And you can even have that LFO be from, like, say, this LFO. And then, but I'd want to unmap it. Oh wait, that's a trigger. Not that one. It's more like that LFO. But except for that I have it mapped, so that's not moving because my MIDI controller is doing it instead. But that's what would happen. Yeah. Fun. Have a good day, y'all.